Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about your block step. So the block step is a very important step when it comes to your vertical jump to help you increase either for your 2-foot jumper or 1-foot jumper. So today I'll talk about how to execute the movement when going for your jump or maximize your jump height. So first of all, what is a block step? So the block step is the last step that you take before you take off. The reason why you want to execute the block step is because this is going to help you propel you to transition that forward momentum into a vertical momentum. Just remember, when you're doing your approach, you're coming into it forward, so you're maximizing horizontally forward, you're projecting your momentum going forward. But at the last minute, you need to tell your body that you want to transition that forward momentum into a vertical momentum. So this is why you have your block step. So this allows you to slow down, but still maintain the momentum that you built up into a vertical movement. So now I'm going to talk about how to execute the block step. So first step is to maximize your approach. Next step is to execute the penultimate step. Thirdly, then is your block step. So when you want to execute the block step, I'll show on this side because it's a little bit more easy to see it. You want to make sure that first of all you have executed the penultimate step, but next when you come in, that your block step, right? You want to swing your foot as aggressively as possible. So it's kind of like you're stomping, but you want to make sure that swing foot is very quick but very short, just like kind of like you're projecting that momentum here, like just like kind of like a rocket launch. So you want to make sure it's really just really quick and rapid. You don't want your block step, so in this case your last step, to take a very long time. So you're traveling right up in here. It's pretty much just a straight leg movement. You are bending that knee a bit, but then you're going up aggressively. When you're here, you want to make sure that you're already in a low position, because all the block step that you're going to do, you're just pushing your momentum going forward. You don't want to come into it, your block step, you don't want to come into it. You're doing your block step, squat down, and then jump. You really just want to make sure when you're here, now you're just going forward. So this is why in your penultimate step is very important for you to really project your momentum forward. So you're already in that deep position so that you don't need to drop your hip. And then when you're here, you should push off from this angle, right? So the momentum should really look like you get low, take your step, which in this case, this is my penultimate step. Then when you're here, your hip is already loaded. All you do is push, right? So let me repeat it again. You want to get yourself low, and then here, push again, right? So that's how you execute a penultimate step when it comes to your 2-foot jumper. For single leg jumper, it's relatively the same thing. It's just in this case, right? Your penultimate step is your block foot. So when you guys are coming in, you really want to make sure when you're doing a movement that you're, again, in this case, let's say my right foot's the one I'm pushing off. You really want to make sure that you push, and then from here, you're using your heel to help break, but then you're snapping real quick when you're going from here. So you really want to make sure that you push, boom, and then you snap. Same thing, right? So you got to use your heel right here, in this case, as a decelerator, and then use the ball of your foot right here, boom, to help you push you off. Now I'm going to show you 2 great drills to help you to improve your block step. So the drill that we're going to do is called banded penultimate step. So first of all, right, you need to have a great penultimate step so that the block step be effective. So the reason that we're doing this drill, right, this is going to help you propel you how to project your hip going forward. Because when you want to execute the penultimate step, the key thing is about hip projection. So once you have the hip projection correct, you want to make sure that you're getting yourself in a low position, and then afterwards, you want to make sure that you stomp the foot. So it's the way how you strike the ground. So the better that we can improve the relationship within the ground and the penultimate step, right, the better that we can execute the block step. So first one we have, right, we just have 2 bands that's hooked together. I already set it up. Then afterwards, you're gonna step in. Then next, what you're gonna do, you're gonna back up. You wanna make sure there's enough tension. You don't wanna create too much tension, but you don't want at all any type of tension. So the reason I would use the band is because the band's gonna pull you forward. So when you're gonna push, right, the band's gonna push you, right? So it's your job to actually teach yourself, right, how to control yourself, but also too, is actually gonna help you to actually generate more speed when you're coming into your penultimate step. So once you have that set up, right, you stretch out, right, And all you're really gonna do, you're literally gonna let the pen pull you forward. But then you're gonna control it with your block step. So you're here, you're gonna be here. I'm gonna go back a little bit more. You're gonna be here, advance and pull you, pull, right? You execute that movement right there. So you make sure that you have your penultimate step, so you make sure what we've been executing. So rotate your hip, and afterwards you have your penultimate step, boom, strike the ground. So I'm gonna show you one more time. You're here, get yourself low, then, right, hit the ground right away. Same thing again, I'm gonna show you one more time. You're here, boom. Okay, so next thing we have is called a seated penultimate jump. So the reason for this drill is that the seated blocks helps you already be in the position when you want to be when you're loading up your hip. The next right, it helps you to force you to actually generate power through your hip since you're in a seated position. So now you really got to push your hip to go forward when you want to take your penultimate step, which is going to teach you how to strike the ground a lot more effectively when you're doing your block step. So when you're going to be here, you're just gonna be in a seated position. What you're gonna do, you have your two feet, and then literally you just push your momentum going forward. So you're here, boom, right here, so 10 toe facing this way, and then what you're gonna do, you're gonna rock your body, then you're gonna push, right? And then from here, you strike the ground. So I'm gonna show it again. I'm gonna break it down again. So you're here, rock your body forward, then push. What you don't want to do, you don't want to do this. You don't want to go up and then push, right? It kills the purpose. The reason why you're in a seated position is because you're already in the angle. So to put yourself in a favorable position, lean a bit forward, right? And then from here, now use your legs. So you literally use your foot to help you push off, right? So don't really focus about using your knee, but help utilize your foot better, all right? So create better relationship with the ground with your feet. You're here, put some pressure to it, then push, then block step, right? So then now, next what you're gonna do, after you create that, right? Then, now you're gonna add the jumping movement. So you're gonna be here, push, right here, rock, and then jump, right here, right? That's the drill. So I'm gonna show it one more time. So you really wanna be here, nice and aggressive right here, and land right here. So now I'm just gonna talk about drills for the one foot jumper, how to improve your block step for 1 foot jumper. So it's primarily the same thing. You get into the loop, right? The only difference when it comes to this drill is that instead of doing a 1-2 step, now what you're gonna do, you're just do a 1 step since you're only jumping off 1 foot. But you won't actually jump off 1 foot, you're just gonna technically plan. So you're gonna be here, stretch the band on the same process, just go from here, push, boom, right? And really focus on really driving the knee. So a common mistake that people tend to do is that they'll separate the movement into 2 movements. When you're working on your single leg jump, right? It's 1 movement at once. You're just taking off of 1 foot. You're still utilizing the other foot. But the common mistake that most people do in this drill is that they'll come in, they'll go in, and then it will stop like this. You do not want to be that way. This angle right here is not actually going to allow you to actually maximize your jump when it comes to single leg vertical jump. You're turning into more just a regular standing single leg vertical jump. This is not a standing vertical jump, right? You're still working on your full approach, but we're just working on block over here. Boom, swing, right? So you swing that foot as well. So in this case, my right foot, you're swinging that foot. So let me just do one with no talking. You're just gonna be here, stretch out, boom, right here. So now I'm gonna talk about how to execute the same drill when it comes to the seated penultimate step, but for 1 foot jumper. Same premise. You want to make sure that you're in an angle, but instead of doing, again, the 1-2 step, you're just coming off of 1. So you're just gonna be here, and then from here, right, you're gonna try to dominate one foot, so you're gonna be more in a more of a split stance right across here. So 1 foot flat, the other foot's gonna be right here. Then you're gonna be leaning forward, and then what you're gonna do, you're just gonna drive your hip, boom, and then jump up from this position. So let me just do one with no talking. So you're just gonna be here, boom, and then jump, and then land on 2 feet. Let me repeat that again. From here, you really want to be nice and aggressive in that split stance position. Here. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this video really helps you to improve on your block step, and I hope these drills will help you to implement to improve again for your block step and your penultimate step. So thank you very much, and see you on the next video.